Hey Dad, what's for dinner? I'm starving. Is it a soup? Oh, wait. Is it a casserole? It smells so good. It's a tomato, beef, chorizo and vegetable stew with spirali pasta. Let's get cracking, shall we?
Hi everyone. I thought I'd make a stew today, but I wanted pasta. So I thought, let's make a stew and have pasta in the stew. So obviously I'll need to chop some vegetables first. So I chose some nice white onion, just one. And there's enough stew here for probably about 4 people. And we're going to chop some lovely leeks as well. And let's face it, you can't make a real stew or a real good soup without leeks. A unique flavour. And here we have the ubiquitous carrot. Indispensable in stews and casseroles, in my opinion. I'm not sure we could really do a real stew without putting carrots in, to be honest with you. Chopping everything in a medium dice. I suppose it depends what your definition of medium is. I always say it's about the same size as my thumb tip or my thumbnail. So a medium dice carrots, and don't forget all the ingredients and their quantities and volumes will be in the description below. Obviously, the instructions are in the video, but the ingredients are in the description below. And I'm using some parsnips. I understand that you can't get parsnips everywhere. You can always double up on carrots, or even you could use turnips. There's something starchy about parsnips. They give off a certain amount of starch to help thicken the stew. This is a gluten-free stew, by the way. In terms of the fact we're not thickening it with anything, we're letting the natural starch out of our root vegetables thicken it. We're going to put a few mushrooms in it as well. And we're also going to use quite a few herbs, and not forgetting some beef and some chorizo and some garlic, quite a few tomatoes and some stock. So I'm using my round casserole pan, and I'm going to brown the chorizo and the beef in some pork fat. You can use oil or butter if you prefer. I had some lovely pork fat left over from my pork joint, so I thought it'd be a great idea to use it for this lovely stew. I'm not going to confess yet, but there's a huge mistake I'm making in this video. You will find out shortly what the mistake is. It's trivial, and it's very it's a situation that I very quickly salvaged, but it is a very silly mistake. I let my enthusiasm get the better of me, so I'm browning my meat and my chorizo in my pork fat. Once it's browned very well, I'm going to reserve it, pop it to one side. Now I'm going to throw in a chilli, a red seedless chilli, and some minced garlic. I'm going to stir fry that for a minute or two, and then I'm going to add some lovely fresh herbs, some rosemary, some thyme, and a bay leaf. Now I'm going to add those wonderful chopped leeks. Absolutely fabulous. Give those a stir for about 5 minutes. Let the heat get to them. Obviously, they will completely shrink as the heat gets to them. Now I'm throwing in my parsnip, carrot, and I do believe there's a little bit of celery there too. As I said, all those ingredients will be in the description below. Once you've given the vegetables about a 5 to 6 minute stir, add the meat and the chorizo back to the pan. And the pan's getting quite congested, don't you think? It's getting quite busy in there. So I'm going to stir fry it in the hope that the vegetables shrink, because very shortly I'm going to start adding some liquids. And it looks like the vegetables aren't shrinking. So in goes a can of chopped tomatoes, and we'll need to give those a bit of a stir too. And in goes some beef stock, or you can use beef stock, vegetable stock, chicken stock. I've used beef. In goes beef. It's getting quite full, this pan, so I'm going to bring it to the boil, but first of all I'm going to add a teaspoon of Dijon mustard, a little bit of extra tang to this stew, and my pan is that full, I'm not really sure what I can do. I want to bring it to the boil, but it's not shrinking, it's not going down. It's quite funny actually. So yeah, you guessed it, the mistake I made, I chose a pan that was too small. So at this stage, I'm going to put the lid on, or am I not going to put the lid on? No, I think I'm going to transfer it to my bigger casserole pan. Here we are. I've salvaged the situation, just about. I'm going to put some tomato paste in, about a tablespoon. I want to make it a bit more tomatoey, a bit more tomato flavour, because I'm going to have this with pasta. So I'm going to give it a nice stir. And at this point, I'm thinking, do I want my stew a little bit more juicier? Do I want it to have a little bit more soup-like appearance? So I'm going to put some extra liquid in at this stage. Don't want to put any more stock in because it'll be salty, but I'm going to put in a cup of liquid in, and that cup is going to be half wine and half water. I like white wine in tomato-based casseroles. They go very well. I'm now going to simmer it for around 75 to 90 minutes, and now I'm popping some seasoning in. It's been simmered, and it really is fabulous. I love the colour. I like the ratio of liquid to solids. It's a nice consistency. It's perfect. I'm going to have this with pasta, like I mentioned before. Of course, you can put rice in, or have it with a chunk of bread or potato. I wanted pasta, and I cooked my pasta separately because I wanted to control how much pasta each portion had. And I also wanted to control how much the pasta was being cooked as well. I didn't want my pasta to be overcooked and mushy. So I cooked some beautiful Spirali pasta for about 10 minutes. And the stew itself is perfect for the pasta. It's tomato based, it's got all those lovely flavours in that a lovely Italian pasta dish has. And it's a concoction dish. It's a dish that I created just out of whatever ingredients I had by me, because let's face it, it's much more fun sometimes just to see what you have and see what's going to happen. And 90% of the time it'll result in something magnificent. And it's much more fun too. And there's nothing better than having fun in the kitchen. So there you have a fabulous beef chorizo vegetable tomato stew with a handful of Spirali pasta. Thanks for watching the video today. If you've enjoyed it, may I ask you to share, like, subscribe, and to find out about my next video, please press the notification bell. This is Chef Archie Pie, sending everyone lots of love. Do take care of yourselves, and I'll see you all very soon. Time to get warm and get this bowl of stew in my tummy.